Warfare is not all about what's going on the front line, no matter what commentators are saying. It is fought at different levels. The front line that we've seen around Pokrovsk is the tactical levels. That's where the battles are going on. That's where the close engagements are happening. But to support that front line, it needs a lot of activity at what's called the operational level. That's where your campaign plans are put together. That's where your support for the front line is critically important. And this is where the Ukrainians are attacking with their long-range drones, with their special operations executive type tactics to stop Russia's ability to try and reinforce what's going on at the tactical level. And of course, all of this is setting the conditions for what's happening at the strategic level. And if the strategic level doesn't work, the operational level doesn't work, then the tactical battle is going to be short. And that strategic bit is President Zelensky convincing Western countries to continue to supply Ukraine with arms, ammunition and finances. That strategic bit is influencing Vladimir Putin's decision-making and the push to try and get peace deals and peace agreements. If that strategic bit doesn't fall into place, then there's only so long the operational bit can continue. And when that falls apart, the tactical piece will fall apart itself. They are all interlinked. President Zelensky and his commanders have recognized and have said that they cannot win the tactical battle to push the Russians out of Ukraine. And therefore, they're fighting at this operational level, the SOE tactics, the oil refineries being bombed, the airfields being interdicted by Ukrainian drones, factories catching fire, logistic hubs, rail stations catching fire or being blown up. And that in itself is influencing Vladimir Putin's decision-making at the strategic level as influence comes in from politicians across the world. One of the things that is influencing all of these levels is a change in tactics. And one of the key tactics that's changed from all sides is the use of drones. We see them used at the operational level to influence strategic thinking, attacking Russian oil refineries. That affects the Russian economy. That's a strategic implication. Attacking at the operational level into Russian logistic hubs and rail hubs, that's affecting their ability to support their tactical operations. But let's see how these drones are blurring the front lines today. Every blade of grass is under surveillance. There are now enormous killing zones. The front line is no longer 50 to 250 yards, direct fire weapon range. It is over these tens of kilometers. Drones are able to fly deep behind enemy lines, crippling supplies. This is paralysing front lines as we knew it, changing tactics. Smaller waves of troops are harder to spot. That is why we're seeing the Russians starting to move into sabotage groups. 3, 4, 6, sometimes 1 or 2 people. Now, the different types of drones that are out there, if we look into the pictures, we have the reconnaissance drones. We have what are almost traditional armed longer range drones carrying weapons on them, fixed wing in the look. But what we're seeing now is the use of FPV drones, giving pictures directly back into command bunkers so commanders can see what is going on the ground. The FPV drones flown by soldiers with these goggles on, covering their eyes, being able to see in 4K everything that is happening in front of them. And what is it that they're doing? They're flying with larger drones with conventional munitions underneath them that they drop onto armoured vehicles, soft-skin vehicles, or individuals. Drones are being used as snipers against individuals. They're being used as snipers against aircraft. Drones are being used as suicide drones, where a conventional munition, this is from an RPG anti-tank round, is being strapped to a sacrificial drone and flown into a vehicle or flown into a person. And what the technology change there has been is, in the early days, a lot of these drones were controlled by radio control. That radio control is being intercepted, being interdicted, and being blocked by electronic warfare. So the next move is to wire control, fiber optic control, and the drones are carrying fiber optic spools that will allow this very thin cable to spool out behind it so that the direct control has no radio signature whatsoever. These fiber optics can go over tens of kilometers, allowing the drones to be flown forward, put into ambush positions in the ground, and then when vehicles or something else comes close, they take off and attack those vehicles. very difficult to deal with, and that is the greatest threat around Pokrovsk and across the whole of the front line today.